Hey everybody, just wanted to make a quick video before my next session gets here, just about a couple different things, and I don't know where this video is going to end up, but I make a lot of videos on tools, and I make a lot of videos on how to properly do things, not because that's all I do, because I'm 96-97% purely positive reinforcement, which means I reward good behavior. I give love and affection and food and treats when dogs do the things that I want, and when they learn new behaviors, and they capture that really nicely, and it's a beautiful thing. But I also use tools to correct dogs when they're mischievous or bad, because it could be deathly for them. And I think when we talk about what's natural in the dog training world versus what's natural in the wild with dogs, or not even in the wild, like look at a doggy daycare. For an example, the best way to communicate to your dog that they've done something wrong is to let them know that they've done something wrong. It's that simple. It's not torturous, it's not harmful, it's not mean, you're not going to ruin your relationship. You can certainly do all of those things if you do it improperly, which is why I make so many videos on how to use tools properly, because I think it's so misunderstood, because there are people out there doing it wrong. And so I actually think it's more inhumane and more going against the grain to ignore bad behavior and try to outlet it in other different ways to avoid actual conflict with the dog, because then that tells the dog that you're not really setting a good example for, like, hey, you got to quit the you know what right now. And so when we talk about natural behavior in dogs and what is natural, and I just had a client come in, and I had a little slip collar on a dog, which is literally a little piece of rope that goes around a dog's neck just like a flat collar would. And the dog actually tried to bite and go after one of my dogs. And that could have went either way. I could have corrected the dog to tell the dog that that's not a good decision, which I did, or I let my dog correct the dog to tell the dog it's not a good decision, and then they would have handled it however way they see fit. But the moral of the story is what would have happened right then and there naturally is what I did. And so you have a dog on one side, and then you have a dog on the other side. The smaller dog goes after the bigger dog to bite them because they're insecure, fearful for whatever reason. That's undecided yet. But naturally, the most natural thing that would have happened during that moment right then and there would have been my dog would have bitten the other dog, or they would have bitten each other, or however, because that's what they do as dogs. They say, I don't like this, this is wrong, I'm going to put you in your place. And so, or I can save the smaller dog from the vet getting hurt, eliminating a dog fight and a lot of stress and anxiety by correcting the dog. And so I just think it's just so important for people to understand, which is why I talk about equipment so dang much. And I just want people to know that you don't see me teaching dogs how to do tricks and teaching dogs how to sit and down and stay, because it's nothing that I'm super passionate about. I love working with dogs and I love working with people, but I'm a problem solver guy. I put out fires for work. That's just what my specialty is. And so don't think that because I put videos out on tools is because the only thing I use, because that's certainly not the case. The only reason why I do so much advocating for tools is because I advocate for tools, because so if I didn't, people are still going to use them. So people should really encourage one another to work together to actually understand how to use the tools properly, because people are going to use them no matter what. Like, that's the thing, is like, even if you don't like using tools, you don't agree with it, you should still support people who teach people how to use them properly, because that's exactly what I do. And so anyway, I just wanted to make this quick video and just let people know that the most natural thing to do to a dog when they're absurdly wrong in a situation where they could get themselves hurt or killed is to actually reprimand them and discipline them for the things that they've done wrong. It's very, very simple in the animal kingdom. That's exactly how it works. There's no referee there saying, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this. If you've ever watched like a Discovery or Nat Geo show where the baby gets eaten by an alligator and nobody steps in, even though you want to, because you're like, this is the saddest thing in the whole world. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Why? It's because it's natural, and you don't want to go against nature, because that's not how life works. And so when we're talking about discipline and we're talking about corrections, it doesn't mean we're abusive, and it doesn't mean we're barbaric. It simply means we're actually going against, it means we're actually going with instead of against nature. And the more you go with nature, the more the dog understands it, because it's here. It's right here. It's ingrained. They understand it the most. Don't outlet it. Don't beat around the bush. Don't take 6 months to train a dog to walk on a leash. Correct them when they're wrong and reward them when they're right. Don't use a lot of pressure. And that's it. Hope everyone has a good day.